Hi there, thank you so much for joining me today. This video is very close to my heart. It's my video idea for the cruelty-free guide that I'm creating with 5 other YouTubers. Every month, each one of us gets to come up with our own video idea, and then everyone makes their own video based on that idea. And April is my month. I wanted this video to be a little bit more sentimental. I think each of the girls is going to be able to come up with something really fun and unique to their personality and their makeup preferences, and I think it's going to be really exciting to see how everyone uses this video to make it about themselves. My video idea is how to create your signature look using cruelty-free products. It doesn't have to be your everyday look. This isn't something that I wear every day, but whenever I do wear a look like this, I feel most like myself. Some things that I think are very signature Tash: slightly disheveled hair with a side part shoved to the side, a bright purple lip, glowy cheeks, and a black crew neck sweater. You know how cartoons, every character looks the same every day? If I was a cartoon, this would be what I look like in every episode. These aspects of makeup are very personal to me, and they make me feel the most like myself. So let's get started into how I create my signature look. So I already have my base makeup done. I kind of wanted to fast forward through that part because you've probably already seen it in any other tutorial that I've done. 2 major things though. One characteristic about me is that I have a really fair skin tone, but I have a more neutral leaning olive undertone. So I like to use the shade 1.05 from Smashbox. It's one of my favorite foundations, and if you are someone who is very pale but has a more olive leaning undertone, Smashbox has some really nice options for you. Another thing, if you've seen any of my tutorials or any of my videos where I'm not wearing makeup, you'll notice that I have a very large vein, very visible underneath my left eye. My dad has the same one. It's actually on his right side, so we have like matching veins. That's like one of those characteristics that I'm not crazy about, and I do cover it up, but it is kind of an important part in my makeup journey, I guess you could say. I did a video last summer where I went 1 whole week without wearing any makeup, and I kind of did a vlog style, like going through the entire week and like different scenarios that I was in, and just kind of talked more about why I wear makeup and my personal relationship with makeup and stuff. And that's one of my favorite videos that I've done. So I wanted to show you my hair. This is what my hair looks like whenever I wake up in the morning. I usually shower at night, and then my hair is still kind of wet whenever I fall asleep. I know that's probably not the healthiest thing to do for your hair, but I could not be bothered to actually blow dry my hair every time I wash it. That's just not something I'm gonna do. And every morning on my right side here, I wake up with this random, like, I don't even know what you would call this, but it just does that. And I typically wet it down, but honestly, nothing is more signature Tosh than whatever this is, so I'm gonna keep it for this video. Now I'm going to put my hair back so that I can focus on doing my actual face makeup. And I'm gonna zoom you in a little bit. So I'm gonna start with my eye makeup. I'm definitely one who prefers to do cool toned, simple eyeshadow looks on a regular basis. That's kind of my foolproof makeup look. I'm kind of struggling to decide which eyeshadow palette I want to use. The first one is an old favorite. It's the Stila Soul palette. This is one of my oldest palettes. It's one of my favorites. But I was also thinking maybe I should use a new favorite, which is the Sultry palette. This shade right here, Twig, is like one of my favorite eyeshadows ever. It's the perfect cool toned, slightly neutral crease shade for me. And I just love all the shades in here. Like, I love all these sparkly shades, and I'm really loving this palette. I think I might end up using this one today. So I'm gonna take this Morphe M441, and I'm gonna go into Twig, and I'm just gonna put this into the crease. The only thing is this shade is very powdery. Like, I feel like I'm gonna hit pan on it really fast, because every time I reach for this palette, I'm using this shade. And I'm gonna use the M508 from Morphe, and I'm going to grab that Twig shade again, and I'm going to lightly put it on my lower lash line. Then I'm gonna use this BH Cosmetics. It just says the number 10 on it. I got it in like a set from the Ulta website, and I'm gonna go back into that Twig shade. Using a lot of Twig. It's one of my favorite shades, and I'm gonna pat that on the outer corner. I'm gonna go into Dystopian. It's a much deeper, cool toned brown. I'm gonna go in with this, I think this is a Real Techniques brush. I'm gonna dab into that very gently, and I'm gonna put that to deepen up the outer corner. Then I'm gonna go back in with that M441 brush, go back into Twig, and just kind of blend the outer crease a little bit better. I could afford probably to go in with a smaller crease brush, but whatever. I think I'm gonna go in with this shade Cinder here on the corner. Just gonna go in with my finger and put that on the inner half of the lid. It's got like a slight gold warmth to it. So I think I'm going to go over with Dystopian, that silver shade, and just go over it and make it a little bit more cool toned. I'm getting fallout. Oops. I'm gonna go back in with Dystopian and just make sure that outer corner stays darker. Also, my eyes are asymmetrical, so they're not gonna look exactly symmetrical. It's just what my face looks like, and I don't have a lot of control over it. And on a regular basis, I don't really go out of my way to be super worried about the tiny details to make them look very symmetrical. I think this looks good. I think I'm gonna take that smaller brush from Real Techniques and go back in with Twig and just make sure the creases are a little bit deeper. And I have heavier lids and more deep set eyes, so I keep my eyes open when I go in and deepen the crease so that I know you'll actually get to like see it. Okay, then I'm gonna take my pinky and go in with Pearl, put that on the inner corners. And then I'm going to tightline my upper lash line with this Marc Jacobs highlighter in the shade Blacquer. Then I'm gonna curl my lashes, then put on a generous coat of Mad Lash by theBalm. And I only put mascara on the upper lash line. I don't think it's very flattering on my smaller eyes to put it on my lower lash line as well. But I really like that cool tone. I think it brings out my eye color, and I think it's simple, and I think it'll go really nicely with the purple lip that I'm gonna put on. I'm gonna go back in with my face sponge that has a little bit of my foundation on it. I'm just gonna go back over my lips to blank out a little bit. A highlighter I've really been loving lately is the Berlin Glow highlighter from Becca. It's slightly cool toned, it's got a really interesting reflect, and I think when I buff it into my cheeks it makes it look really glowy. So I'm going to use this contour brush from Real Techniques, and I kind of just swirl it in the top, and then I swirl it on the tops of my cheekbones and up onto my forehead. And I just really like the way it makes my cheeks look. And I put on highlighter first lately. I think it helps everything melt together whenever I put my bronzer and blush on after I have my highlighter, and then if I still want to add a little bit more of a like blinding highlight, I can just put a little bit right on the tops of my cheekbones afterwards. So I'm gonna put on the Living Doll blush. This is one of my favorite blushes. I think it's gorgeous. It also has a bit of a silvery reflex, so it goes really nicely with the Becca highlighter. I start like on the top of my cheekbones. Just with my face shape, I think it looks really nice, and it adds a little bit of a natural flush, and I think it just makes my cheeks look a little bit rounder. Not that I need the help, they already are kind of round, but I don't know, I like that effect. And then I am going to go in with bronzer, and if you've watched my channel at all, you know I use a crap ton of bronzer. I'm using the Butter Bronzer today because this is a little bit harder to go overboard with. If I use a darker or more pigmented bronzer with such a heavy hand, it's a lot more likely to go and be too much. So I'm going to do my best to not overdo it. And I already have contour on. And I go over my cheeks as well to make sure everything's nicely blended together. I can kind of, there we go. And I do blend it down my neck so that it's all matching. And I know in some videos it always looks like my hands are so much lighter than my face. That's just how it is naturally. My arms are like so white, and then my face is naturally darker, so I don't know what gives. But that's just how it looks naturally, so I'm not gonna worry too much about it when I have makeup on. Alright, and lastly I'm going to do my lips, and the only purple liner I have is this one, Bittersweet by Urban Decay. I don't know if it's gonna go well, but I'm gonna try it anyway. I do overdraw on this side, on my right side, because it's a little bit lower and smaller than the other side. Alright, and now for my favorite part. I just got a fresh Stila liquid lipstick in the shade Como. One of my favorite liquid lipsticks that I've ever had. I used up a little version of it and then repurchased it. I only found it on the Beautylish website. I don't know if they're like easing out this shade or what, but it's so pretty. Oh, I just love it so much. Yeah, the purple liner I wore with it is a little bit more red, more pinky than the liquid lipstick, but that's alright. And this is it. This is my signature Tash look. I would love to know what your signature products are, even some unique features on your face that you like to play up that make you feel most like yourself. I would really love to hear what types of products you use to create your own signature look. It doesn't have to be an everyday look. It could be a look you wear to a concert, a look you wear to feel more like a badass, a look you wear whenever you're not really feeling that well and you want to pick me up. even just products that you don't wear all the time, but for some reason when you bust them out, you just feel amazing when you wear them. Please go check out the other girls. They'll be coming out their videos at some point in this month as well, and I'm so excited to see what type of looks and products they talk about and come up with. But in the meantime, that's everything I have. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!